Let's take a look at Friday, October 30th, and a continuation of the Powers of Congress scavenger hunt, and which is now been extended to Wednesday under number 2 here. Let's take a look at number 2, the Powers of Congress scavenger hunt. So let's take care of this housekeeping before we get to the actual Friday activity. So if you're looking at this, you have remember you're doing the sheet. The doc is required using the sections. The doc is required, but the form is going to be extra credit for, let's say, 6 people to get it all right. And the form is just supplemental questions from the doc. Okay, the form is just supplemental questions from the doc. The other aspect is 12.2 guided reading notes, and this is just simply a screencast, and this is also going to be due on Wednesday since we started the other a while ago. On Monday, Tuesday we're going to have school, election day. Monday we're going to be doing stuff in the Electoral College, and I'm setting the table for that coming up next. So the committees in Congress guided reading notes will also be due on Wednesday. Now I'm going to hide my head and show you what's going to be due on Monday, the beginning of class. The election day Electoral College questions, of which I talked about Thursday in class. So on the voting questions, the first three questions, and you're just going to answer these right in the question section of the question box. So if you go to iwillvote.com and you just go to iwillvote.com and you just go down to the bottom to learn more about voting and important dates for voting, you can see voter registration deadlines, and that will help you answer the first 3. On the other questions, you're going to need to go to the Voter Information Center, which could be linked right in the assignment or here, where my clerk's office is, where my ballot drop box is, and in these ones, you're going to need to enter your address. Very important here because you're going to want to enter your address. So I'm on the one where your voter information and searching for your voter information. So this is, let's say I went to, let's say I'm back on the home page. Where is my polling place? This would be, you can do this by address. You're going to want to do this by address. Where's my polling place? So if I do this and enter my address, you can figure out where it is, and then it also pay attention to the and it gives you the drop box locations, and it gives you everything that you need for the drop box locations, which of course are 24/7, but these are the hours of your clerk's office. The 24/7 is just obviously the drop box hours. So this is your polling, your area for your clerk's office to find information. Now, the other thing is that one thing that will be difficult for you, and what is the process for registering to vote? Okay, so this is another place we're going to need to go to answer the question. The question 7: how do I register to vote? So if I click on, the process for registering to vote in Michigan, and again, it changes a little bit right now, so this is a little bit tricky because you can obviously right now you can go to your clerk's office and do it up till the day of. So how do I register to vote? So click on how do I register to vote or update my information online. So if I go to the deadline to register, so you're gonna look at this, and you're going to want to go down to step 3 and submit your application, because a lot of this is talking about now, which now what you do is now up until October 20th, you up until the election day from October 19th, since the deadline for getting an application in the mail has passed and registering to vote online has passed, because it won't be processed in time, which they have to do is you actually have to go directly to your clerk's office and provide a proof of registration, but you can do it up to the same day. In fact, I think you can do it up at the polling place. And these are new laws constitutional amendments that have been passed in Michigan as of 2018. So, but we're going to go down to step 3, submit your application. So what are some of the requirements, the online requirements? So if you go to, ignore the part that says it's coming up, because it's within 14 days, you have to vote on. You have to register at the clerk's office. Let's pretend like we're going to do this for a future election, which is what most of you are doing. So click on continue, and then you're going to go to what are some of the qualifications. So start answering some of the questions. Have you updated your driver's license? So say no to that. Say no to that. Um, and then continue. And then here's the qualifications. Citizenship. You have to be 17 and a half years old. You have to be a Michigan resident and lived in your city or township for 30 days. So these are the three requirements: age, residency, and citizenship. So the answer to the question, what is required? How old must you be to register? Where can you register? And what is required? So what is required is you have to provide proof of residency, and you have to and proof of citizenship, and then you must be 17 and a half to register. So where can you register? You can register online or at the clerk's office, right? You can register online or at the clerk's office. So I pretty much have helped you with question 7. You can register online or at the clerk's office, and you also can you have to provide proof of residency and so on when you do that. So let's say I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm 17 and a half. I'm a Michigan resident, and we'll vote. I authorize the use of, any previous registrations. I authorize the Secretary of State use my stored signature. So I'm looking at the qualifications. So I'm going to continue there and then start entering some of my personal information, and then click finish, but I don't want to because I've already registered. So I don't want to go that far. I don't want to screw up my own registration. But again, so you would have to provide proof of residency and when you're going in there and doing that. So and they would have to verify that you are through your driver's license and record that you are a resident of where you say you are. Obviously, that to avoid fraudulent voting and avoid fraudulent voting and people voting where they're not registered. And then click on what's on your ballot. Enter the city and town where you live, and you can pick a precinct. I know that you may not know your precinct, and it may not be possible to know your precinct, but you can pick a precinct where you live. So if I go back to the voter information and I where do I vote or something along those lines. So if I were to go to, you could view your sample ballot for the upcoming election. If I go back to this page, where's my polling place? What should I expect? What's on the ballot? Now, it's going to be tricky because you can view it by jurisdiction or by county. So the voter information is section of the website you can't really go to because quite frankly, you're not registered to vote yet. So if you were to pick any one, so let's say I pick the general, I'm going to pick Genesee County. Genesee County. I'm going to pick. Let's say I'm going to pick. You could pick anyone, but let's say I pick Fenton Township, right? And then there's many precincts at the high school. They're all bobbed at the high school because that's why you have the day off. So let's say precinct 4 and view the ballot. So then I go to precinct 4, and this is what I have with precinct 4. Now with precinct 4, it doesn't have Lake Fenton. It doesn't happen to have Lake Fenton it happens to be precinct 4 in Fenton Township happens to be Fenton schools. So let's go back. I think it's precinct 5 and 6 that are. So let me go back and put this in again. Genesee, jurisdiction, Fenton Township. Let's go back and let's do precinct 5. Here we go. So Lake Fenton Community Schools, board members, some people in the precinct 5 also live in Fenton. So precinct 5 covers different school districts depending on what the address they're at. You wouldn't see all of those depending on where you're at. And then this is the ballot. So you can see that all of these are the ballot for different. What are the offices that are up? So you'll notice that it's the township offices that are up, and then the county offices. These are some of the noticings you should make. The township offices, and there's a lot of we vote for different Wayne State, Michigan State, U of M Board of Trustees. The county and the township offices are up for election this year, but not necessarily the city. So we could ask the question, um, what types of local or state offices are up for election, right? You could say, the township, the county is also up for election, and so on. So that's what we're looking for noticings on the ballot. And you'll notice too that the ballot is quite lengthy. You'll notice too that the ballot is quite lengthy as you're looking, especially in the general election. And then the last thing you need to do with this is go to the Electoral College and look at this PowerPoint and answer the question: what do they all have? What all these elections have in common, and what do Al Gore and Andrew Jackson have in common? So I'm not going to spend too much time with that. I want you to look at that, and I want you to see what do all these have in common. And so what do all these elections have in common, and what do Al Gore and Andrew Jackson have in common? Al Gore and Andrew Jackson have in common as you're looking at them from the 2000 election, and you should be able to kind of look through that and figure it out. And we'll go from there, because we're going to talk a little bit more about the Electoral College on Monday. So this is due Monday, beginning of the hour, because I want to talk about these things at the beginning of the hour. So yes, this is due Monday at the beginning of the hour. Notice the time is on there to answer these particular questions, and you'll lose some credit if not. This is your Friday activity. The scavenger hunt, we're kind of kicked back a little bit, and you can turn that in on Wednesday. It would have been Tuesday, but we don't have school on Tuesday. And then at the same time, you're going to do the guided reading notes. You have a day off, and plus that scavenger hunt should be fairly far along. So that's what you're doing. And of course, whatever you're behind on as far as the test or the short answer questions, the test questions, as we're approaching the end of the some marking period, you should be getting those done as well.